Welcome to Paranormal Heart Podcast with host Kat Ward. Welcome, my haunted hearts, to Paranormal Heart Podcast, paranormal talk with heart and soul. Tonight's segment is pre-recorded, streaming on United Public Radio Network 107.7 New Orleans and 105.3 the Gulf Coast. You can also find me on YouTube and any place you find your favorite podcast. I'm your host, Kat Ward. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. So, folks, I have another great guest tonight. He's a return guest, co-host of the wonderful show Don't Whistle at Night, and UPRN brother, Don Yazzie. This evening, Don takes us deep into the shadowed corners of legends and fear as we unravel the truth behind Skinwalkers and the Wendigo, or Wendigo, so many different pronunciations. Two beings often confused, yet worlds apart in origin and intent. Now, I'll admit, even I've gotten these two mixed up once or twice. But after tonight, maybe we'll see them in a different light. So help me welcome my brother, my UPN brother, Don Yazzie. Hello.
What's up? How's it going?
What's up? How have you been?
Oh, not too bad. Just home from work,
Yep.
Glad to be alive.
Yes.
About another day.
Yep. Another
How about
day
you?
above. Oh, good. Yeah. I was off today. I don't usually record my shows when I have to work, so I'm nice and fresh and not tired. Well,
Oh, nice.
tired, but not like if I had worked, but yeah. Thanks for asking.
Definitely. Oh, likewise.
Yeah, like we said before I hit record, we don't chat as much as we did when we first met. Thanks. And I have to give a good shout out to Mr. William Jevning for introducing us.
Oh, yeah.
Had him on the show, and then he a couple of times, and then he mentioned you, and yeah, here we are, and now you're on the network too. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It just went boom. Like I barely started my show. I was like recording my third episode when I got the offers. It was just like, wow, all right, cool. Okay. I want to bring my not only my stories out, but my community, everyone
Yep.
in between, because there's not only Navajos experiencing paranormal experiences, there's Caucasian, there's other people, different races that are there along with us experiencing this, and they're looking at us like, why isn't anyone know about this? This should be all over the world. This should be all over the news. We're looking at a huge ship much bigger than this behind me, and we're just like, it's just there. They're doing what they're doing, and no one's gonna stop them. They're gonna be doing that until the sun comes up and you can't see them. They're gonna be silver flying around. Sure enough, we got people jaws dropping for days over there.
Yep.
It's wonderful, and it's a part of the world that I wish to bring out, more out there, and possibly bring more people to visit to the Navajo Nation, because that's a lot how we make our money. A lot of people sell jewelry, do tours, horse tours, jeep tours, morning tours, all night tours, so people make their money that way. So a lot
I
tourists
didn't know that.
money. Oh yeah, there's not
Nice.
much opportunity on the Navajo Nation.
Hmm.
So we have to figure out ways to make money.
Yeah.
Or some people just leave like me.
Now, I have met so many different types of indigenous people in my life, and very traditional, very storytelling is very big to pass on from generation to generation from the individuals that I've met. And so I find your show is kind of a version of that. You're telling stories, not just Navajo Nation, but Cree and a whole bunch of other guests that you've had on your show. And to me, correct me if I'm wrong, I just feel like you're still sharing the stories to a new audience, a new generation. So maybe we can understand each other a little better.
Yeah. That's one of the things, like, to have us be in the place of storytelling, and because we're one of the most what's the word, people must understand us a lot, in many
Misunderstood?
cases. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
always misunderstood a
Yep.
lot, and the only way to help clear the air is, let us talk. And then we'll just have a good, safe environment, a
Mhm.
chilled environment where, we can, open, because there's a lot of stories that I wish that everyone can hear, but a
Yep.
lot of people won't hear it. I'm like, oh my gosh, let me record this. Say it again. They're like, no, no, Navajo way. You're
Uh,
supposed to remember this, and you can relay the story in your own words. You're supposed to
mhm.
remember it. You're supposed to be cognizant enough to remember it. You're supposed to have that common sense to relay the story. This is not to be recorded. So I run into that a lot. So there's a lot of great storytellers that I wish to bring on, but it may take some time. It may
Yep.
take.
Well, if someone can't remember all the stories, then those important stories are lost. So that's another reason why I find your show is so important, because not only Indigenous people can learn, but every other, Caucasian, whatever. It's just people in general can just listen to your stories and go, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. So
Oh
kudos to
yeah,
you for
yeah.
being brave to,
Oh.
to put yourself out
So
there.
far, yeah, yeah. I was telling Michelle, I was like, I just told her this morning, as a matter of fact, that this journey, it's been wonderful. Like, thank you for
Oh,
helping me get into the network. And
you're
I
very
told her
welcome.
that so far. Mhm. Yes. And it's fun. It's fun. It's amazing. I said so far that the the good outweighs the bad, versus the good
Mhm,
comments versus the bad comments, and ego from people and humbleness of people. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Just experiencing that on a normal basis and coming into the podcast world where it's another ball game. I'm just like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna be myself at the end of the day. It's the only thing I can do.
Yeah.
Just go forward. Just keep forward, just keep moving forward and try
I
not
de-
to dwell on the past. Yeah.
I definitely believe and feel that you were sent my way. So because you and I both know Mr. Jevning, uh,
Oh yeah.
because we both know him, that he was meant to tell me about you, and then I was meant to tell Michelle about it, and that was just, um, because as soon as I told her about you, she goes, "Do you mind if I steal him?" I'm like, "I don't own him. Like, you can have him as a guest on your show. Like, but I appreciate you asking,
Mm.
um,
Oh
but yeah,
yeah.
look where you are now. I mean, I've in the beginning, I found you were a little nervous in your episodes, and you're so calm now. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
you've
exactly. You
grown
guys,
so much.
I know it took long enough. No, just kidding. It took me a long time, because I originally started. I was on Creek Devil with William Jevning, and
Hmm.
um, the topic's always about Bigfoot,
Yep.
and someone would ask a question, and I would veer off on a Skinwalker story or my story, and then everyone's like, "That's really interesting. Can we have more questions?" And I
Yeah.
was like, I'm not supposed to be talking about this. I'm gonna get spanked when I go home." But I was like, so it took a while, and then that was Faceless podcast. And then I started my own because my community kept on pushing me and egging me on. Start your own, then I'll come on to your story. I'll come on your show and I'll tell. So my hand was forced, and I met Darren. Darren and I knew each other for a year, and like, hey, let's start a podcast. And he's like, all right, don't whistle at night. I'm like, oh, nice. All right, that's it. So
Hmm.
just everything's just like meant to be. You know,
Yeah.
I really do feel that. And my podcast was supposed to be faceless. It was, you weren't supposed to see my
Yep.
face, hear my voice. That was the original vision. But I took a while to crawl out from under the rock, though. It did. It really did. I'm like, okay, all right, okay.
I think we
That's
all
been
go
great.
through that. It's like in the beginning, I do not like the sound of my own voice. I hate it. I really do. So it took me a while to kind of get over that, listening to myself.
Right.
I still don't like it, but I don't cringe whenever I hear it anymore.
I know. I hate it personally. I hate my voice too. But
No, you got a good voice.
um yeah, like on Creek Devil, I had someone commenting like, this is my second time listening to this episode. I can fall asleep to his voice, and my wife was like, "Who the hell is this?" I'm like, "I don't know. I guess I got a good radio voice, maybe."
You do.
It's like maybe.
You should
Thank
start
you.
doing you should start reading those stories to put people to sleep. Like they have on YouTube.
Oh man, I just need to feel a story and just
Yeah.
learn. Yeah, my wife said she'll coach me on that because she was an actress back in high
No
school.
way.
So she
That's so cool.
yeah, so yeah, really, she was really great. She got into a college back east for acting school at one point in time,
Hmm.
but she never went. So she's like,
Aw.
I'll teach you or I'll coach you, like
Mhm.
on those narrating, like the gig that you do.
Yeah,
So she wants to coach me into on to read some of the scripts as well.
I
So
think you would do well in that.
I hope so. I got to get back into it and try it. Just relax. I think that's my problem. Just need to relax.
Yeah. Okay, so our topic tonight is Skinwalkers versus Wendigos. Even like before we started recording, I was mentioning to you that when I was trying to look at some images, I had one picture of a Wendigo, or a rendition. It's not an actual photo, and there was another picture of it said Navajo Skinwalker, and it was identical. So I'm not the only one that gets confused with these two. It seems like they get confused amongst a lot of people. Or would it depend on which indigenous people, like say, would Cree have the same name or a different name for the same creature than Navajo, for example?
No, no,
No? Okay.
it'd be a different thing. Yeah, it'd be its own different thing because different areas, different regions across the Americas have their own, what would you say, head honcho spiritually wise,
Yep.
where another a chief would be in charge of an area spiritually. Like
Hmm.
different areas would have different places of rulers where different deities would be in control of different groups of tribes. So, or some of them would be, like we have this character that's reoccurring. He's the he's like a bad guy. He's like the like Loki, but he's a coyote guy.
Okay.
What's that word? What was that?
I said, oh, okay. When,
Yeah. Oh man,
yeah.
I'm trying to remember, the word escapes me. But so we have that guy that's been all around, but different areas like the Wendigo. I think that's mainly in the Ojibwe, Algonquin, the Cree area, and the Navajo Nation. So the Wendigo over there in that area is more based on a possession type of deal, like more spiritual. All comes from greed. Whether like winter comes, you want more meat, you want more of this, and then that hunger
Mhm.
turns into eating each other, cannibalistic. And across the Southwest, that's one of the major taboos. That is a big no-no because when you consume a human flesh, things happen to you.
Mm.
It both two things happen to you actually. The first thing that affects you is the spiritual aspect of it, and then the health, where you would start having some health effects from eating another person. So we'd have that play out here on the Southwest with the Anasazis. They practice cannibalism.
Mhm.
Chaco Canyon, you name it, Mesa Verde. So there's evidence, and we have stories that correlate. And then all that changed and morphed into turning into witchcraft, where you would have to consume human flesh and you would be willingly possessed by the spirit to shapeshift, where you would have to sing and get into the skin. Where there's some Navajos that don't have to do that at all. They can do anything they want from you sitting on their couch watching TV, relaxing because they're in the astral plane,
Mm.
spying on you, placing curses on you in the astral plane world. So there's a lot of different variables to that. And as far as the Wendigo, my Ojibwe friend Eva Thunder, um, she said it's there's some stories of it being seen as a like you would see that's it's rib cage sticking out with horns. Maybe that could be a spirit or it could be an actual thing. I think we just need to get out there and record, get out there and vlog it. That's the only way. That's what I tell everybody. Like they don't really know what's out there in the dark, and they're like, whatever. They think I'm lying. I'm like, no. Why don't you go out there at night by yourself? Why don't you go for a walk in the dark when there's no moon, there's no stars out there? Go get lost and come back and tell me what you're gonna see. It's like you're gonna see Bigfoot, you're gonna see Goatman, you're gonna see a Centaur or the Minotaur, or the Kokopelli, or the Rake. We just go on for days. You don't know what you will see, and it's very fun. It's nothing. It's like nothing other where it'll get your adrenaline pumping, and you're seeing something, and you're smelling something, and you're tasting it. From the smell, it's physical and it's there, and it's very real. And I have yet to make it out to Canada and Minnesota area. I would like to go out there. Some people would say that you think being indigenous, these things reveal themselves to you, possibly. I can't, yeah, I don't have the answer for that. All I can share with you guys is my experience from what I know, from what everyone told me, don't go out there, don't do this, don't do that. And I would say why and go do it on purpose. And now I'm telling my kids, don't do that. You go to sleep, 12 o'clock, go to sleep, go to sleep. Why? And I sit down and I tell them, because one time I was in a haunted house. I was awake at night and I seen this ghost, So they're like, their jaw drops and like just go to sleep, please.
Yeah.
Go to sleep, pray for yourself, So, they're spiritually gifted as well. And it's awesome. And
I like how you say that,
one of
spiritually gifted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Some people say spiritual curse, family curse, and a lot of
generational curse.
My age. Yeah, a lot of us my age and younger, we're finding ways to cope with it more, and we like to say spiritually gifted. There's people that have gifts in different ways. Some are the eyes, some are the ears, some are the hands, some are the tail, some are the feet, some are the head. And like from my gift, I got the gift of sight. I can see. I'm a messenger. I give messages to my family and my in-laws. That's my role, is giving messages, personal messages. I don't like it. And there's still messages that I have yet to deliver. And it's going to be hard. So it's heavy and it's real. There is
because people might not. Is it because people might not accept what you're trying to tell them?
No.
Or it's just the message itself is pretty intense.
The whole idea of it, of being of them coming to me, like my friend, like my cousin. Like I was telling you earlier, I ran away from home at 15, been on my own. And one of the first places that I was at for a year was with my cousin and his mom and my uncle. And his mom was the nicest person, the nicest female ever in this whole world, ever been nice to me. And I helped out a lot, and I felt like I was her son too. She treated me more of a son than my own mother did.
Wow.
Sad to say.
Yeah.
And 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 I got a little older, and I left the reservation. I lived in Phoenix, I lived in Salt Lake, I lived in Oklahoma, Washington, and I didn't know she passed away. She passed away a
Oh,
few years ago. And
sorry to hear that.
after, oh yeah, yeah, I didn't know until after the news came to me. And then out of the blue, I had a dream that I was at my cousin's house, and him and his brothers, they're outside on the side of the house drinking beer, hanging out. And they didn't see me because I think I was in the astral realm, because I astral plane every now and then, and I think it might have been one of those moments. I'm not sure, because I was standing outside the house, and I was seeing those guys aside, and then I can hear my uncle through the house. He was sitting on the couch. I can hear him. I can see, I can hear. And I
Mm-hmm.
was standing there. Then I looked aside by the vehicles. I seen her. She's walking, coming towards me. And I know if it's bad, I instantly know I would get back in. I would say, our Father who art in heaven, I wake up from my dream, because I don't have control of these trips, but they happen as they come. And most of the time, I know it's important, and I'm going to receive a message. And I seen Jesus as well. He's 6'1".
Oh, wow.
His hair is right here.
Yeah.
His eyes is green, blue, black, uh, red. All of humanity's color. That's his
Hmm.
eye color. I'm
That's
6 foot. He's a
interesting.
little bit taller than me.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So that's another story for another time. I seen him
Yeah.
3 times, and he gave me messages all 3 times, and I
Hmm.
delivered. And so I seen my aunt, my cousin's mother, come, and I seen her. I was like, "Oh, hey," I said her name, and she's like, "Oh, how you doing?" I'm good. And she's looking at her husband and her kids standing there. And then she looked at me again, and I told her, I was like, I never had the chance to tell you, but thank you for taking me in. Thank you for
Hmm.
being so nice to me. You're the nicest person ever. And I want you to know that. And then she said, you're welcome. And please come back here and go tell my husband, go tell my sons I love them and I'm watching over them.
Hmm.
Check on them for me. Check on my boys for me. She grabbed my hands. So please
Hmm.
check on my boys for me. And I was like, I will. I will. I will. I promise. So I have yet to deliver that message. And that's probably one of the good messages I ever got.
Hmm.
And the rest are the rest were heartbreaking and
Oh,
bad, and they all did come to pass. That's what's really scary about it. And I really do try to tell my kids to have one of these by your bed, write down when you wake
hmm.
up, because sometimes you have a message and you can't remember when you wake up. Had a
That's
lot of good
true.
dreams.
You just have
Yeah.
fragments.
But
Yeah.
back to the Wendigo, it sounds like a perfect possession spirit, because what we were talking about earlier, um some people come from shapeshifters, and their kids, this very day, their grandkids, they are shifting uncontrollably, and they don't know what happens to them. They end up from point A to point B quick, and they wouldn't know how. And all started from their grandpa, would teach them a song, or their grandpa is dabbling in something, and it
Hmm.
just passes on down the line. And from my side, I'm from the western portion of the Navajo Nation, Minot Valley side, and a lot of us, we had to resort into into that that magic realm
Hmm.
to live, to be here, and even to talk about it. It's it should be shared, should be talked about openly with each other, especially with different tribes, which is right now we're doing. We have Apaches, we have Blackfeet, everyone, they all have different stories to add to this huge, mysterious puzzle called life that we're on.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, making this podcast like yourself, we're only adding the puzzle to this giant mystery box,
Mm-hmm.
And I like to be a part of that. And it feels good to be a part of a community like this. I
Yep.
finally feel like a family here.
Oh, I'm happy. I know
Oh,
several
yeah.
years ago, when I first got into the paranormal, there was a lot of bullying and harassing and just negativity and people saying, well, there still is now, but not like it was years ago. I mean, I even know someone who got off every social media platform because she was being harassed by team members, like the people that she would investigate with. And I, I was, so she had a chat, not a chat, she had a little show. And well, she had to distance herself from the people because she was getting harassed. People were showing up at her work. They were leaving death threats on her, on cell phones and stuff like that. It's just crazy. And I was in the chat room once where she's not part of it and at the time, but her friends were, and they brought her name up. And then in the chat, oh my God, I couldn't believe the negativity, saying that individual should unalive themselves. And I was just like, whoa, where? So to me, it should have been the people on the show saying, no, we don't want that, but they were encouraging it. So I find over the years, people just got fed up of the bullying and the negativity, and we're banding together to get rid of these bullies. And I find I've met great people like yourself, so many people on the network now, and there's a lot more positivity now, which I'm happy. It's not as bad as it was. Yes, there's still some negativity, but not like before.
Oh, wow. Jeez, I had no idea to be a fly on the wall, huh?
I know, right? Yeah.
Oh man, sounds like high school drama. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
I know. No, really does. Like, good grief. How old are you?
I know, right? I think that's why I choose my field is construction. So I'm like, hey, we don't talk here. We do body language. Just go outside. Let's go to the
Yeah.
parking lot. Other than that, you shut up.
Yeah.
But that's blue collar. It's like, hey, that's
Yeah.
how we unfriend back in the day. That's how we're gonna unfriend today. Let's go.
Yeah.
But that's that's really sad though. Like for me, since I started this podcast, like we're talking about earlier, the good outweighs the bad so far.
Yeah.
Getting hit with a lot of negativity. When it gets overbearing, I do tell Darren like, hey, this is BS.
Yeah.
I really want to punch this person, but I can't. I don't want to go to prison. Raise my family, like
Yeah.
the person doesn't know, like at the end of the day, like you guys have no idea experiences you guys have no idea what it's like to wear another man's moccasins,
Yeah.
and a few things make me shake in my moccasins, and that's Bigfoot. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm not scared of anything else. I don't have time to be bullied or to bully anyone. End of the day, I choose peace. If I wanted drama, I'd be over there with the drama people. But
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, you gotta
For
live
those
life.
of you who don't know, Darren is Don's co-host. So if you haven't checked out their show yet, you really have to check it out. It's Don't Whistle at Night, and it's a really good show. Um, yeah, I keep getting off topic. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
So can you, for those of who aren't aware, can you give a description of what a skinwalker? My daughter and I started calling them epidermis slow runners because we didn't want to actually say the words. Epidermis is skin, and walker is like a slow runner. So we started calling them epidermis slow runners. So physically, if you had them side by side, the Wendigo, what would they look like?
Well, the Ojibwe depiction of the Wendigo probably could range from 6 feet, maybe even more, 12 feet. With the antlers, with its ribs protruding out, like it's starving, it's hunger for more,
Mm-hmm.
and no eye sockets. Some of them say deep eye sockets, or some say that it has no eyes. It's just a skull. And the Skinwalker, that one is a can of worms on its own.
Yep.
um, so I'll tell you two different Skinwalkers, maybe even three, maybe even four, perhaps. But I'll share with you these two right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the very first time I seen a Skinwalker was 13 years old. Um, oh man, I seen quite a few Skinwalkers, to be honest. Sorry.
That's scary. That's really scary.
Yeah, yeah. A thing or two because you've seen a thing or two, and you can smell the difference between the Skinwalker and the Sasquatch,
Mm-hmm.
because those two really pungent smell. So my first Skinwalker, half his body was a coyote. He had a tail, and his upper body is a man's torso, and he has a lot of silver and turquoise jewelry, a lot of them on. And then on his fingers, he has a lot of a ring too. And then his wrists, he has a lot of silver bracelets going up. And he had this one I seen. He had a white face paint on, and he had symbols on his face. Well, it had to be yellow face paint symbols. And he had a coyote pelt on his head that was up, sticking up. And then its pelt was this low, and I can see his face. He
Kind
had
of like
long
wearing
hair.
a hood, kind of.
Yeah, and it was stripped over from the back as
Yep.
well. And then so he looked like he was at least 4.5 feet tall from
Mm-hmm.
his paw to the tip of his head.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't on the ground, he was floating like 2 feet above the ground. And he had a Navajo blanket around his back and around his arm.
Mm-hmm.
And within a split second, I heard thunder, like a thunderclap, and his whole body lit up like Flash Gordon. He ran down the dirt roads covering 9 miles within seconds, and you hear thunder. Gone.
Wow.
And the second one I seen almost killed us. We're racing one night after homecoming. That one was scary. We're going 90 miles an hour down Forrest Gump Hill. You ever seen Forrest Gump?
Yeah. Where
he's running up. So we're coming down that hill, flying. There's 3 vehicles.
That same place?
Yeah.
No way. Huh.
Yeah, that's where I'm from, that area.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I hit a saber-toothed tiger around that area.
That's crazy.
There's like a donkey man too that was following me on the road one time because I can hear the hoof. I don't know, it might have been Centaur, but something with hoof was following me on the road because I had to walk home one night from the high school to the community. I got home at 5 in the morning. I had to walk all night. No one was driving. Nobody. Like, those roads are so lonely where only ghosts would keep you company. That's how lonely it is. And they'll ask you for help too. A girl would come screaming towards you. You would hear her footsteps running circles around you, asking you for help, help me. And there'll be another part where you would hear a horse charging after you and running in circles around you. Some parts of the highway are very, very haunted. And each each part of the highway has its own stories of Bigfoot crossing. And so we're coming down Forrest Gump Hill, and my cousin, he was in a big old diesel truck. He left us in the dust, and we're neck and neck with this car full of girls, and we're looking at each other. And off on their side, I seen something on their headlight, like something is coming. I thought it was a dog. So we're cruising fast, and I look, and this thing came up on the headlights of their vehicle, and I was looking at underneath of the Navajo blanket design. You know, it was coming, flying fast, and I looked on top. I seen on top there was a man sitting Indian style with his leg folded back straight up. He
Mm-hmm.
had things in his hand. It might have been a crystal rock and the feathers he must have had in his hands. He had two things in his hand, and he was sitting on that rug like Aladdin. And he flew over their headlight. And by the time he got over to our car, he was over our hood, and there was a trail of dust following him, and the dirt hit, or the dirt was in front of their headlight, like someone drove in front of us.
Yeah.
Dirt road to the highway, and when it got over to us, when he passed by us, the rock hit the windshield, and this guy he had a red Wrangler button-up shirt and blue jeans and a red bandana, and he had white hair. So wherever he was going, he had to get there. He
Yeah.
the back tire blew out. Boom!
Oh.
And we lost control. We're all over the highway. And I was in my he was an assistant coach for us. He at the time, his brother was a head coach for the team at the time. So I was riding back with him because he lived off the reservation in another community, and I had to ride back home to my border reservation town.
Mm.
And he was going to drop me off on the way out, and we started racing these other people. And he lost control of his 76 Chevelle Nova. We're all over the highway, and we can hear the tire boom, 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 and his that 76 Nova was his project car, and his seats was even bolted down on the passenger, and he had no seatbelt to top it off.
Oh.
I was like, boom, 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 and all I could do was just grip the seat, and I was like, oh man, this is how I'm gonna die on my right, because my family's area is all right there. I'm like, wow, I'm gonna die close to home. I was accepting death, at that moment. But luckily he got control of the car, and we ran off the road into the dirt. We got off of the road. I jumped out because it was the passenger tire that blew up. I jumped out, I kicked it, the tire is perfectly normal. And he came around, the tire was perfectly normal. We looked at each other, we looked around, we jumped in the car, and we hightailed it out of there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then the third, it's strange. And the third one, I was a little bit older this time, and I'm trying to sort these things out. A lot of them are Centaur encounters that came around that I am coming to grips with right now, and some of them are not Skinwalker; they're Bigfoot experiences that I'm sorting out nowadays. I just threw everything to the back. And my mother's stories, she's telling me crazy stories too, She she was basically abducted one night, and she got off this dirt road. She was telling that man that abducted her to, I need to go restroom, let me out. She knew where she was. It was dark, and she made her escape. She was running in the creek all the way back home, and when she stopped to get a breather, she turned and looked back, and she seen Bigfoot running after her.
Oh.
So she had to run home nonstop. She was scared. She thought it was that guy chasing her, and she was like, I thought he's in the car. Why is he running after me in the dark? How can he see me?" She's looking back. She said, "This guy was huge." Said that he was running towards her zigzag like this. And when he was zigzag like this, he said, and he would turn, his hand would almost touch the ground. His arms were really long.
Good grief.
So this guy almost took us as a kid, almost took my mother, almost took my sister, almost took my cousin brother, and my uncle had to shoot one in the back of the head. So And then, my family used to be involved with witchcraft, shape shifting, and they taught us how to find them, and how to
Hmm.
hunt them, and how to trap them, and how to trick them, and how to look for them, and how to look for where they do their. In Navajo, it's called in Bajo one. In translation, that means like the hidden home, the hidden house, the secret
Okay.
house.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So the wardrobe, the magic wardrobe. I was just kidding. But in there, they do their things, and they can actually open portals anywhere. They can disappear from a room anywhere. They can go into a wall right here, and they
Hmm.
would draw symbols. They would draw certain symbols, and they would open that doorway, and they would disappear. That symbol would disappear with them. These guys can go through dimensions,
Hmm.
and there's certain places where full face rock, and only if you believe you can go into that rock. It's a secret doorway. So how much do you believe in magic? That's what it is. Only
Ah,
if you believe in magic. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean. So
kind of remind. Have you ever seen an old movie called Buckaroo Banzai in the Eighth Dimension? It's an, I think it's like
no.
80s or 90s. I absolutely loved it. There's aliens. I love the movies. There was supposed to be a sequel and they never made one. I was so upset. But anyways, so Buckaroo Banzai, he's trying, I can't remember what they're trying to achieve. And he's driving his car really, really fast in the desert. And he goes into the mountain, but he's in a different dimension and he sees all these creatures and it's kind of neat. That's what it makes me think about my geek brain.
Oh man. Yeah. It's just I don't know, it's just the imagination that always leaves you to wonder at the end of the day. It's like,
Yeah.
wow. Um, all the reason why I just started a podcast, because there's more people from stories that have this and have that. And they're like, hey, I've seen that. I'm not crazy. That's my favorite feeling. Like I jump up and down and like,
Yep.
I'm not crazy. We're not crazy. And then I
Well,
get
no.
people messaging me saying that my grandpa told me this story. I never thought it was real, and then some people like, I seen that. And then like, so, it's things been busy, it's been busy a lot lately. I'm trying to reply back to messages as we speak, and you know,
Mhm.
it's been an amazing journey so far, and I love it.
I want to ask you
Next
the
we just
first.
gotta
Oh,
vlog it, huh?
no, go ahead. Next week, what?
Oh, I was just saying next. I think next week I'm gonna be taking my son and my youngest brother to this very Bigfoot hotspot, and all I gotta do is just vlog it, and
Mm-hmm.
just have some boogers running down my nose, Blair Witch
Yeah.
style. Yeah, that's all I gotta do.
Now, I wanted to ask you the first time you saw a skinwalker. First of all, did you know what it was when you saw it? And you said it had symbols. Do you know what the symbols were? Did you recognize them?
Well, one of the symbols I recognized was like a lightning,
Okay.
like a lightning strike, across the face.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it had another yellow line to separate because each face paint is very unique. And one of the face paints you might see is a lightning, and the lightning is one of the higher ranking ones.
Hmm.
So they're always together, or there's one leader with two of them. Usually, there's three, there's one male and two females. Usually,
Hmm.
in most cases, it'd be a husband and wife duo,
Okay.
and if not, it's a uncle and nephew, and if not, it's a grandpa and grandson,
Always
or
family.
grandma. Yeah,
Okay.
grandma and a granddaughter,
Hmm.
or the girls always go together. The girls go together unless they're married.
Mhm.
And um so yeah, I knew what I seen. based off of my whole family's catalog of seeing these things. We've seen all the different forms that they take. They can even get inside your house, different face paint that we've seen. Um, it's just vast. Should be one of my next goals is to really document and start a documentary with everybody. Everything from portals to Centaur to UFOs.
Yeah. At the very least, write a book.
Yeah, I got that still working in at works right now from my early years of my investigating into going into Hopi land and learning about the Sasquatch. And right now I'm making friends with the Zuni Pueblo, and they have their own form of skinwalkers. Same thing. That they said that my Zuni friend said that he's gonna come on my podcast and share about his skinwalker story. It's really
nice.
scary. It's scary because he said that some parts of the Zuni Pueblo there no one is allowed at all to be there because they're actively practicing witchcraft there. Flat out. They told their own people, don't go here. Like, why? We're practicing witchcraft there. We're perfecting witchcraft. That's what they said. So my friend, him and his friend and his brother, they went there. He's the youngest one, like around 9, I believe, 9 or 11. I'm like, what? You're that age? He's like, yeah, they're teenagers. Like, that sounds like me. That sounds like me. Always stuck with the older ones, and you're scared as hell. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, he said they went down that road to that canyon, and his vehicle shut off, and then the vehicle came back on again. He said he looked back. He said he's seen a coyote head and a man's face looked like ash all over his face looking at him, and then the vehicle died. And he said that the whole car died, and there's something walking around the car scratching the edges of the car outside. And then they seen someone coming down the road towards them. I guess it was a tow truck to get them. They jumped out of the car and started running towards the truck. And my buddy said his brother was saying, don't look back, whatever you do. And he said that his brother was just a few feet ahead of him, and his brother was saying, don't look back, and his brother looked back.
Of course.
something was right behind him, and he said his brother just left him in the dust. He said he was the only one running. He said that he didn't dare to look back. So,
sounds like something you'd do. If somebody said, don't look back, you would look back.
Oh, yeah. Like this documentary that's going to come out. It's going to be a good one. There's this part of episode, I believe 8. There's 10 episode documentary coming out. I think episode 8, you'll see me walk around in the forest way down there by myself when I come back in. The filmmaker, Adam, he grabs me. He's like, stop walking off. Quit running off. I'm like, why? We don't want you to be Bigfoot food. Got my 10 millimeter. I'm like, it's okay. So you'll hear that, I'm like, why? we don't want Bigfoot to take you away. And I was like, if he does, my wife can find me. And my wife is a real good tracker. She's a really good tracker. So is my son. My son's a really good tracker. Yeah. So that's what I know is like if I'm gone, I know my wife can find me. And if not my wife, my aunt my aunt can find me because she's a hand trembler.
What's that?
She helped us find it's another form of spiritually gifted.
Okay.
Another branch, a sect, I would say. So these guys would some of them would have to use like this, pretend this is a crystal.
Okay, yeah.
Bigger. Okay. Say my mic is a crystal, okay?
Okay.
And that person grabs it and you say, hey, I lost my car keys. This is a true story, but I'm gonna change names.
Okay.
So we go to this person, hey, I lost my car keys. And that person says, okay, let's go find where it is. Sit down. and it grabs the crystal and says, and that crystal will glow like you would turn on the LED light when you're in a dark room.
Yep.
This rock will glow, and you would see where your key is at, and you would see that this person that came to look for the key, that person's own daughter, took the key to this trailer over the hill where this guy is a meth dealer, and
Oh.
he steals dirt bikes and cars. He's a real scumbag. So my aunt or so so that person with the rock would be like, yeah, she went in there and sold him the key, and he gave her the drug, and that's where the keys at in this trailer
Yep.
in that drawer right there, and everyone there would see it, and like amazing things like that. People have that gift, have that power to see things, and some of them would just need to touch your hands. So like a lot of us a lot of us Navajo people, we try not to touch people's hands because some people are very gifted. They just need to touch your hands and they can see everything about you right away. Information like that, they'll know it about you. They'll know your favorite song, they'll know your favorite color, and just things that you would not, that no one should know. And then so she would help help people out like that. Some people would charge money, some people would do it out of free because it should be free. People should help for free because it's a gift. And there's certain people where you would go to and tell them the same story what I'm telling you, and that person would just say, wait 1 second, and step back and just close their eyes, and they're just escaping their body into the astral realm. And they're seeing what you're talking about and seeing where that person went. They see it in real time. So we have a gifted person like that on our team, and he's helping us pinpoint where all these Sasquatches go on the Navajo Nation. And he is legit because all these areas I researched for years and tracked, and I didn't let him know. I asked him to test him, and he knows. So he's a part of the team, and hopefully we can produce documentaries with all of us together.
That'll be nice. Some people too, they won't look at people in the eyes because they can automatically see everything. It's the same thing if you shake their hands. Some people will not look at people in the eyes. Some people call it a soul gaze because they're gazing into your soul, but they say the eyes are the windows to your soul. So some people are gifted, and they'll look at like your forehead right here, and it looks like if you're the other person, it looks like they're looking in your eyes, but they're not because they can't. Because they're going to get all this information. Yeah.
That's what my aunt does to me. I know when she does that, and I'm like, I look at her, she's like, she goes back to eating her food. I'm like, Auntie, out of my mind. You need to know certain things. I'm like,
yeah.
babe, I already knew it, babe. Like when I met my in-laws, I knew who was spiritually gifted right off the back. That one, or like, babe, I don't like that one. This one has something. Sure enough, it's just like, I don't know how to explain it to people. It's like a dog, like you would trust a dog. A dog will tell you a good person who's not a good person.
Yep.
So I'm like that in a strange way. So, it's just like for us Navajo, when we're talking to somebody, we have to maintain. That's the only time we look at each other in the eye. So we're revealing ourselves to each other. We're showing each other our souls, and we're showing each other that we're not hiding anything. And you got my full undivided attention.
Yep.
And I'm going to receive everything, every message that you're trying to transmit to me. I'm going to get it, and I'll relay it on if it's that important. So when I would lecture my kids, I would tell them that too. when they break eye contact, I get on them. Says, look at they don't like to stare me in the eye, but I, like everyone, like we do eye staring contact at work. I do it. I can win. You know, so that's like that's how I am too. Like with people, I try not to maintain eye contact because I don't want to give myself away. Because only one that should know about you, about yourself, is God. Because He's the one that knows our heart,
Mm-hmm.
and that's who I choose to please at the end of the day. The secret of all hearts, the ones that know our hearts already, even when we're in our mother's womb.
Mm.
So everything's all meant to be just like us right here. Like we're meant to cross paths and to talk about the paranormal for this next generation. Like my son in there, he doesn't know what we're doing, but I'm telling him and my other kids, this is for you guys. You guys are going to learn one day when you get older. When I die, I won't leave you guys. You guys will have this, you know. So, it's just one day you guys will grow up and understand, why things go bump into the night.
Yep.
And I had to take a lot of guts to go out there and see what won't bump. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell everyone, say, hey, the British are coming. The British are coming. Yeah. Then I get a lot of pushback. I get a lot of pushback too from my community. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't say that. You shouldn't be talking about that. You shouldn't be telling the white people. You shouldn't be. I'm like, oh man. I was like, I'd be like, times change.
Yeah.
You guys told us don't go out in the dark. There's something out there, but you guys never told us what's out there. And I had to go out there and find
And
out.
find for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, you can live your life however you want to live, but I'm going to tell my kids, my son, what's out there so he can tell his kids and his sons what's out there so we can respect what's out there, because what's out there is wild. They're going to conduct, they're going to hunt, they're going to do whatever they're going to do because that's them. They're on a different level of living. They're the real apex predators, and we should give them the due diligence of respect, but we should also learn from them. And there's just one area on the Navajo Nation that is very, very close to intelligent contact. So I really hope to work with that family some more, and to hopefully we can make intelligent contact. But it's really close though. Then there's some areas where he'd drag you off in your tent. He don't care if there's 4 people in the tent. He'll try to drag all 4 of you. So, I can't really put my finger on that guy. But as far as skinwalkers, those guys made their own choices to get that horrible gift, and they have to keep doing bad deeds. And how sometimes you would cross a skinwalker in normal settings would be like you're at the laundromat on the Navajo Nation, a local laundromat, and you're trying to do your clothes, and some person comes up next to you, starts doing their clothes, and you're making small talk, da da da, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm a skinwalker," or they'd be like, "Yeah, I cursed this person." They would tell on themselves. They would tell on themselves. They would slip up on purpose because that's their nature. Their nature is to slip up. Their nature is to get shot or stabbed and die and get killed somehow. They're going in a circle that leads to their death. They're in a pathway that something is constructing their death. So a lot of times they tell us, you leave that person alone. If that person tells on himself, you leave it alone. You don't tell everybody, because when that person tells you what they do, and if you say, well, I'm going to tell everyone, then all that's you're going to get all the smoke.
Yep.
Supernatural to normal and the paranormal. You would lose your mind. Yeah. So, we would see a lot of that with my family. A lot of them are on drugs. A lot of them are on alcohol. A lot of them have passed away. from fentanyl.
Oh,
A lot of them are in prison.
bad
It's
ones.
just, yeah, I see the effects, and it's very real. And people ask me why are you doing this? Like, because I'm a survivor. I have every right to talk about this. I have every right to expose that darkness with every little bit of light that I have. In my time here on this world, I'm going to fight the good fight. That's the best thing I can do to make this world a little bit better for my son. The more he knows, the more he can be safe, and make
More he
better
knows, the more
choices
he
than
can be
his old
protected.
guys.
Yep.
Yeah. So a lot of ways, one of the tips would be you would have to pray. There's a certain way you would pray when you burn cedar,
Mm-hmm.
and you would get that ash and you can apply it to your face, to your doorway, and you can apply it to your bullets and you shoot that person, the
Mm-hmm.
skinwalker. And then there's another way as a magic is you get the ash and you would say your own prayer. You mix your saliva with the ash and you flick it. The ash will turn into an arrowhead and hit that person.
Hmm.
There's other ways too. Like if you really learn the good way of it, that they use that for offense.
Mm-hmm.
And you would use your gift where that skinwalker is going, and you would go travel miles where he's going to cross the road. You would spiritually see, up here you would see where that skinwalker is going. And you would get to that road where he's going to cross. You hide your vehicle. You go the crossway where a game trail would be, and you would see he's going to cross this creek, and you would draw a line in the sand, and you would place an arrowhead right where the creek is coming. You place the arrowhead there, and you place ash there, and you would pray, and you would find somewhere to hide, so you can pray for yourself. You pray for your eyes, pray for your heart, pray for so you can be tough, because whatever you're gonna see is gonna be scary as hell. It's gonna scare the shit out of you. Excuse my language,
That's
but
okay.
very real. So you would hear this thing gallop, then you would hear something like a flesh connect, boom, and
Yeah.
then you hear a body falling. You would go to the wash and you would see a creature that would resemble a half man and half horse, but it's actually a skinwalker disguising himself as a centaur. And his face paint would be yellow. And then later on, you would see that person at a swap meet trying to offer you some food, trying to offer you soda. You see that same person at another swap meet again, offer you food, offer you things, and you would say, "Hey, I let you live that day, that night." And that person said, "I know. That's why I'm trying to be nice to you." And
Oh,
it was
yeah.
that person paid me to do this to you. I don't know who you are. It's just business.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's crazy.
Well, I think this is a good spot to call her, Don. We went over the hour mark by a little bit, but that's okay. I could just listen to you for hours. Like, you're so interesting, and you've got that voice too, like we mentioned earlier.
Oh, thank you. I gotta practice some more.
So before we sign off, could you tell the audience where they can find you and your show and Darren?
Oh yes, you can find us around prime time Sunday night. The last show, so 7:10 Mountain Standard Time, 8:10 Central Standard Time, and you guys know the Eastern Standard Time. It keeps escaping my mind. So you can find us there. You can find us on YouTube at Don't Whistle at Night Podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and Spotify as well. Uh yeah, that's where you can find us, and online too if you want to get in contact with us. Info at don'twhistleatnight.com if you want to reach out. We're looking for guests, as always, non-indigenous or indigenous.
Oh,
We'd like to hear
non-indigenous
stories.
too. Okay, nice. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so very much. I really appreciate this. I look forward to having you on again. Like I said, it's always great talking to you.
Likewise, Kat. Likewise.
So hang tight. I'll say my farewells to the audience, and we can chat for a couple minutes if you have time.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Oh, a huge thank you to my special guest tonight, Don Yazzie, and to you, my wonderful audience, for tuning in. I also want to thank UPRN 107.7 New Orleans and 105.3 the Gulf Coast for carrying the show. And if you enjoyed tonight's episode, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. It truly does mean the world to me. And if you'd like a little piece of paranormal heart to call your own, you can grab some podcast swag, like a mug. And again, I mention it every week. If you're watching the video, this is what it looks like. Just send me an email at paranormalheart13@gmail.com. Or if you just want to say hello, you know the email. Until we meet again, take care of yourselves and each other, sending you all kinds of love.